So this is how you're gonna string the snowflake itself. So I like to have the actual printout, and sometimes you can even save your template. So what I do sometimes if I get lost, I take the middle and I line it up with my middle nail. You can kind of rip it a little bit to get it stuck and just kind of give you an eyeball like this way. And then you can kind of see that, okay, look, I am in the right spot. And to help you know which way to trace it for this. So don't worry, we've all been there. I've done that multiple times where I have to use my templates. So this is why we do it. All right, so go ahead. One sec, where's my scissors? You also want to grab a pair of scissors. Any scissors will do. These are the ones that I have. And then you're going to go ahead and unwrap your string. For this, I like to start in the middle. So we're just going to go around, tie a little knot. This one is a little funky because of the sequins, so I have to give it an extra little tug. So you go ahead and do that, and then you do one more knot to make sure it doesn't come loose, just like so. And then this tail, we're going to trim. It'll tuck into the design, so we just want to trim it to about there, and that is trash. And then I like to, it's basically an outline for the snowflakes. So what I like to do is a figure 8 in between each of them, but I break it into 4 steps. So holding it tight, you're just gonna go and we're just gonna outline each of the sections. So hold it tight and just wrap it around. And then you're gonna go back down and go to the out one first, and then I crisscross. Go to this one, and again, any step, any direction. So I can do the crisscross first and then loop around. Then I can go back up here and crisscross. And this just gives it the thick outline. And also pay attention as you're going, since you still have your hammer out, hopefully. You can kind of tap in as you go, because sometimes when you're pulling the string tight, it will get these kind of wiggly like a little tooth. So go ahead and keep that handy. And you can wrap all the way around to secure it. Then we're gonna go crisscross. And I can go ahead and lap it around multiple times the same way. There is no issue with that. I'm gonna go up to this one. So now we're on this part of one. Okay, and again, so it's just a figure 8. So crisscross and all the way around. Then you kind of crisscross all the way around. Sometimes you can do an extra one just for funsies. Sometimes you can go all the way up like this. You can do that too. And go back down to this one, crisscross, like that. And then every time to get to the next section, you're gonna wanna go back to the center and then do this one and back, this one and back, this one and back, this one and back, this one and back. And that is all you're gonna do. As you go for the tail, you can kind of try and angle it so it goes underneath one. But you're just gonna go up, 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 and do your little crisscrosses, oops, without letting it go. And then crisscross and around, crisscross and around. You can do a couple extra. And at the end, if you have extra string, you can always go back and do a second pass to make it thicker. Then that is perfectly okay too. I try and throw in some extra string in case there's, knots or it gets tangled weird, so that hopefully you have plenty of string. And as you go, if you do end up doing a second pass, you can kind of push down the string farther onto the nails. See how it's floating way at the top? You can push it farther down so it's closer to the wood, and that'll make it easier to put the string on too. I only do that if I am gonna do a second pass though. Because if not, it's kind of far on the wood and looks a little funky to me. Okay, so this one's done, and now we're gonna keep rolling around. So as you can see, I've gone around once, and there is a fair amount of extra string if you want to go around again. But we're going to go ahead on to the next step. Make sure you cut yourself away from all this extra string. We're going to tie a knot just like we did in the beginning. So give yourself enough. Let's see if I cut enough to actually tie it. And then it can be on any nail. I'm gonna go ahead and use that center one again, just because it seems like the home point, but any nail will work. You're just gonna go ahead and tie the knot in the air. I like to put my finger and trap it, and then pull the string with the other hand. Remember, not too hard, you don't want the nails to come out, but you do not want your string to unravel either. And tie another knot on the same nail just to lock it in. And then again, just like we did in the beginning, you're going to cut it, and then we're going to use our fingers, our scissors, something, and just sort of tuck this into a section and try and hide it. You can use a little bit of glue if you want. I don't normally do it, but that is definitely an option. Of course, now that I say that, it'll be the one time that I do want to glue it, but you get the idea. And if it wants to go down to the other section, then just let it. It's all the same. Okay, then you can go ahead and grab your ribbon, string it through, and it will be ready for your tree. Hope you had fun making this.